Jenna. I am your host for today's episode. Have we ever realized that champions started from the ground up? Have we ever thought that the champions we idolize today were among the carefree kids who learn a wide array of sports on the school classrooms and playing fields? School children are motivated to be physically active, to enjoy physical activities, as this gives them a lot of fun playing with other children. But we know that there is a very limited time to play or attend physical education classes. Maximizing 1 hour a week or a little over it to teach children physical skills and activities is such a very challenging role. However, there is one teacher who untiringly provides children with maximum physical activity time within the class period. There is one teacher who teaches skills and activities within the school grounds that enable students to transfer this into physical activity and life skills outside of the physical education class. Sport is a very strong tool to develop valuable and important life skills. Thus, the role of a PE teacher is critical in teaching sports and life skills. Let's quickly listen to Dr. Trinidad Aquino Lumma from Tarlac State University as she shares her personal experiences engaging in sports at an early age.
Learning athletic skills is also learning life skills. Our family is a homegrown, developed, sports-oriented, and education-driven. We grew up in a university compound that allowed everyone to be physically and socially upright. Through sports, we were slowly developing the confidence as we growing in a very healthy and conducive environment. We are 5 in the family and all are engaged in sports, which eventually resulted to a rewarding endeavor. My 2 brothers play basketball and volleyball until they were outstanding athletes and eventually became coaches and trainers. I was under the nurturing skills of father and eldest brother. My second older brother was playing lawn tennis and badminton. He too supported younger kids in the community, which resulted to competitive results from local, provincial, and regional athletic meets. In my case, I was honed at an early age in sports. I learned gymnastics during my elementary grades, volleyball and basketball, lawn tennis and badminton. I was the first to learn the setting skills of an elective spike by my teammates. I became all-around person to do this from high school to college that lead to winning local and national sports events. We were enjoined to participate to have a balanced academic life. Through sports, we were developed the discipline and rigors of balanced lifestyle.
Thank you very much, Dr. Lumna, for that quick glimpse of sports as a tool to learn life skills. With that, today's episode is a dedication to the many educators and school coaches who chose to teach children how to develop and improve their social and physical skills. They help children work on their fitness and give them tools to lead a healthy and physically active lifestyle. They are our physical education teachers and our school coaches who can have so much influence and authority on the young mind to lead them to a lifelong healthy habit. The champions we admire of their great sporting performances is essentially a product of an influence and motivation from this important figure in that exciting PE class and school playing ground. Our salute to all of you, our physical education teachers and our school coaches. We have invited on the show
3 wonderful teachers
and school coaches to share their joyful, fulfilling, yet challenging role in teaching PE and sports. But before we give them to you, let's listen to another exciting kwento of our Commissioner Celia Kiram.
Ang aking ibabahaging kwento sa inyo ngayon ay ang mga nakakawiling kaalaman tungkol sa physical education. Ang kasanayan ng physical na edukasyon ay nagsimula pa noong sinaunang Greece sa humigit kumulang 380 BC. Binanggit ni Plato ang pisikal na edukasyon sa mga republic na nagsasaad na dalawang uri ng edukasyon ang kinakailangang ito ay turuan ang isip at turuan ang katawan. Alam niyo ba na ang gymnastics ay ang uri ng edukasyong pisikal na itinuro sa sinaunang Greece? Pinatunayan na mahalaga ang pisikal na edukasyon sapagkat ito ay isang pangangailangan sa pagsasanay na parehong sundalong Greek at atleta. Ito ay malaking papel sa pag-unlad ng lipunang Greek. Nakakawiling kaalaman naman na ang ama ng modernong pisikal na edukasyon ay si Friedrich Ludwig John. Alam niyo ba na ang 1987 Philippine Constitution, Republic Act 14 Section 19 ang nagsasaad na itataguyod ng Estado ang pisikal na edukasyon at hikayatin ang mga programang pampalakasan sa mga kompetisyon sa liga, kabilang ang pagsasanay para sa kompetisyon sa international upang mapalakas ang disiplina sa sarili, pagtutulungan at kahusayan para sa pagpapaunlad ng isang malusog at alerto na mamamayan. Diyan nagwawakas ang kwento tungkol sa physical edukasyon. Muli, ito ang inyong Commissioner Kiram na walang sawang maghahatid ng kwentong kababaihan, kwento para sa kaalaman at karunungan sa sport.
Not at your best? You may be dehydrated. You need Pocari Sweat. It replaces the electrolytes you've lost and helps you perform at your best. Be at your best with Pocari Sweat. Pocari Sweat.
Let's now listen to some sharing from our invited guests for today, the influencers and motivators of children to engage in active physical activities and sports in the school playing field, and teaching them skills to be champion in sports and in life.
This time, let's listen to a sharing of teacher coach Marissa Austria. Ma'am Marissa C. Austria is the Master Teacher 2 and the MAPEH Coordinator in Las Pinas East National High School, where she devoted her 28 years as a public school teacher. She has extensive experience in archery, varsity player of Philippine Normal University in archery, competed in SCUAA and won medals. A national training pool member and represented the country in several international competitions in archery from 1996 to 1998. In 2010, she became a coach in Las Pinas East National to compete in regional meet and Batang Pinoy. Currently, she is a continental judge in World Archery Asia. Ma'am Marissa is a writer and a validator in curriculum at the Department of Education in MAPEH. She was awarded as Gawad Sikhai in school level as Best Teacher in 2018 and awarded the Certificate of Recognition as Coach by a local government unit in Las Pinas. Ma'am Marissa is also the Red Cross Youth Advisor for a decade in the same institution.
Hi, I'm Danica Sanchez, and here's my question for you. Can you tell me about yourself and how long have you been a PE teacher as a school coach?
A mom of 4 kids. Actually, I have 3 kids engaged in sports. Wherein Daphne is a national training pool right now. started with Grassroots from the division from regional competition to Batang Pinoy. Now she is now ranked 4 in our compound team. I have a son who got a full scholarship in his college, taking up a culinary, but varsity of table tennis. And my youngest son is Simon. He also engaged in archery. In 2015, I got the license as the international judge candidate for archery until 2019. But now, for 2019, at present, I am now a continental judge in world archery in Asia. Basically, I influence my children kasi I was a former athlete. In 1998, a national training pool as well, wherein I compete in the different international competition in archery.
How do you influence or encourage children to play sports or encourage in active physical activities? Kindly share your strategies and techniques.
There is only one key. Give the highest possible grade in your students. Okay? Kapag binigyan mo kasi sila ng grade na mataas, wherein they motivate to do the activities. Okay? In new normal, in old normal, kapag binigyan mo sila ng high grade, gagawin at gagawin nila. Basically, ang difference ng 99 sa 80, ang laki, di ba? Kapag kinumpute mo yan. So, ang lahat ng estudyante ko na nagkakaroon ng 99 grades, sila yung nagpupursige. So, yung mga batang ayaw gumawa, napipilita kasi naiinggit sila, ay, paano ba makakuha ng 99? So, all you have to do is to do the physical activities or the performance task given by the teacher. And that is proven, actually, in the old and new normal. Next, minomotivate ko rin sila with testimony from our alumni na nakakagraduate yung mga estudyante namin from college na libre because of sports. Okay? Na wala silang binabayaran. And actually, my son, okay, yun nga yung sinasabi si Dominic, the only thing na binayaran namin is yung ID niya. From the beginning, from freshman to hanggang makagraduate siya, wala akong binayaran kundi ID na 125. Tapos sinasabi ko rin sa kanila na with the sports, makakarating kayo na iba-ibang lugar. Katulad namin, katulad ng mga different coaches na nagsimula din sa local, naikot na namin ang buong Pilipinas. At the same time, and even in international, yan yung mga benefits kung mag-engage tayo sa sport. And ang sports, makikita nyo lang yan sa PE class. So, do engage in PE class.
Hello, Ma'am Marissa. Can you please share awkward challenges encountered in teaching PE and sports among the young nowadays? Can you cite some challenges and how you are able to address these challenges?
In new normal, actually, medyo nahirapan kami, no? Lahat naman ng teacher, from the traditional way of teaching na in person to new normal, medyo maraming challenges talaga. Number 1 na dyan is yung gadget. Nauubos yung oras nila sa paggamit ng gadget. But for me, naisip ko kasi na gamitin din yung technology na yan in my teaching method. Wherein, in my action research, I use TikTok application for them to engage in the different physical activities. Using this TikTok, nakita natin on how they are creative. Yung mga estudyante ko kasi ngayon, mas hindi lang naging creative, naging resourceful in terms of giving their performance at its best. So yan yung mga nakita ko sa new normal ngayon sa tingin ko ay nakatulong sa kanila to yung especially yung mental stress nila. Sabi nila, "Ma'am, ang ganda po ng ng TikTok, nag-enjoy kami." Sabi ko, actually small physical activities, but the behind the scene, yung the performance, the practice itself, na medyo tumatagal sila para ma-perfect nila yung galaw nila. Yun yung nandoon yung physical activities na mas kailangan ng mga estudyante natin. So excited na ako ngayon, malapit na tayo mag-in-person o face-to-face again. Gagamitin ko pa ba yan? Yes, I still be doing the TikTok as part of my motivation. But there's a difference now because nandito na kami in person na magtuturo sa kanila. Okay? Hindi na panay video. Kasi noon panay video lang yung pinapasa nila. Na medyo actually yung pinakamahirap na part sa amin. Yung pag-check individually ng kanilang performance task. But very fulfilling when they do their performance task. Paulit-ulit naming sinasabi, a sound mind in a sound body. Okay, but honestly, totoo naman po yan. We teach the intellectual skills on how they play, how to strategize to win a game. Yan yung mga talaga namang, sa totoo lang, ginagawa naman at nangyayari yan sa PE class. Okay? Even now, pinapag-create namin sila ng sarili nilang mga sports. So, tumatakbo yung intellectual skills nila. Pagdating naman sa social interaction, medyo na-limit tayo ngayon, but with our Google Meet and tinatawag naming breakout room, still they can have this collaboration with their students, yung mga classmates nila. And in terms of emotional, actually during pandemic, gamit na gamit po ang PE. Wherein hindi lang po tayo nag-concentrate sa mental stress ng bata. Okay? Nagkaroon din tayo ng pagpapahalaga sa physical nila. Natatandaan ko nga sinabi ng ng mga co-teacher ko, survival of the fittest tayo ngayon. Kasi kung hindi po tayo malakas, malamang tatamaan tayo ng virus. Wherein now na-appreciate nila na kailangan pala natin maging healthy. So yan, ngayon, noon at ngayon, actually, ang kahalagahan po ng physical activities ay nandyan po para mag-survive tayo.
Hi, Miss Marissa. Kindly give at least 3 reasons why teaching PE a fulfilling endeavor or profession.
Very fulfilling ang pagiging PE teacher. Maturuan mo sila to engage or to solve some problems na nakita naman natin yan kapag naglalaro sila. And madadala nila yan sa buhay nila. Okay? At the same time, kapag nakita mo na maraming graduate sa estudyante mo, na marami pong nakatapos, yan yung very fulfilling sa aming mga teacher. Nakita mo gumanda yung buhay nila. Naging athlete sila na yung naging champion. Yan po yung very fulfilling as a PE teacher sa amin. Hindi sila nag-stop dito sa high school, but they continue in their college and nakatapos po sila ng kanilang college with through sports. Sa pamamagitan ng PE, natuto sila makisama sa mga classmates nila. Natuto sila kung makihalubilo sa mga kakapwa nila athletes. Kapag nanalo sila, with humility, okay, na ba-accept nila yan, kung sakali ding matalo sila. Lahat ng values na yan. And sa tingin natin, paano sila magiging manalo? They aim for excellence. They do their best para manalo. In a simple physical activity, simple game. Hindi natin mamalitin yung simple games na yan eh. Kasi sa kanila, big deal na po yung simple games na manalo. Very proud sila. Paglabas nila ng school, oy kami nanalo. Ang galing. So, sila pag nasasabihan sila, ang galing, iba na po yung dating sa kanila. So, madadala na yan. Nagiging masaya. Paglabas ng school, sobrang saya nila. And even yung emotions nila kapag natatalo sila, yan, nakukontrol nila. Okay? Because of this being PE teacher, tuturuan natin sila ng magandang values na paano i-accept, paano pag ikaw natalo, anong gagawin mo? Okay? So yan, tinuturo namin. So kapag nahubog natin yung magandang pagkatao ng isang estudyante, and number 1 actually, ang tinuturo na self-discipline and respect. Okay? Lalo na sa mga nakakatanda, sa coaches natin, lagi po natin yan tatandaan para maging isang mabuting tao, isang mabuting estudyante, balang araw, isang mabuting leader po.
Hi, Ma'am Marissa. What makes a woman PE teacher different from a male PE teacher? Is there a difference?
Sa tingin ko naman walang pagkakaiba yung pagiging male and female PE teacher or coach. The only thing, nagkakaroon tayo ng pagkakaiba, is yung emotional kasi in terms sa meron kaiba sa aming mga babae. Yung women's instinct na sinasabi na kapag nakita mo yung estudyante mo na medyo malungkot, kailangan natin ikausapin kasi alam natin may something na nangyayari doon sa bata and nararamdaman po ng mga babae yan. Yung pagiging motherly instinct kasi namin mga babae, nandiyan nakikita. Mas nako-comfort kasi namin mga estudyante namin, yung mga athlete namin, kung sakali may nararamdaman sila. Wherein sa mga lalaki medyo mahirap kasi baka magkaroon ng bigger issue kung i-comfort nila yung mga babaeng athletes, Pero the rest is almost the same. Technical side, lahat naman po is strength, pareho lang man po tayo. Yun lang yung side na yun. Comfort and emotional touch po ng isang babae, ng isang motherly-like teacher.
Maraming salamat, Ma'am Marissa Austria, sa napaka-valuable niyong sharing bilang isang PE teacher. Ngayon naman, ating pakinggan si Teacher Stephanie Pagarigan sa isang napaka-interesting na sharing niya tungkol sa the art of planning and establishing influence among players. Coach Stephanie Pagarigan was a lecturer of the Sports Science Department of the College of Rehabilitation Sciences in the University of Santo Tomas, where she also achieved her bachelor's degree. She also completed her postgraduate degree, Master of Science in Human Movement Sciences in the University of the Philippines, where she graduated with research honors. She is a certified strength and conditioning specialist by the National Strength and Conditioning Association of the U.S., a precision nutrition level 2 coach, and an exercises medicine specialist of the Philippine Association for the Study of Overweight and Obesity. With more than 10 years of experience in the field, Coach Steph has coached and worked with clients of various ages, conditions, and goals as the strength and conditioning coach, fitness club manager, and group exercise instructor. She is also a certified anti-doping educator by the Southeast Asian Regional Anti-Doping Organization, where she works with national athletes and teams in building integrity and clean sport through education. Currently, she is working on her doctorate degree in sports science in Mahidol University, Thailand, with her research focusing on exercise prescription for older adults with sarcopenic obesity. Here is coach teacher Stephanie Pagarigan.
What is strategic influence and what makes it an important aspect in the development of athletes? In business, strategic influence is the art of planning and establishing influence among the public, customers, potential customers, and employees. Webster's dictionary states that influence is the power to affect others, the power to produce effects because of wealth, position, etc. Strategically using and exerting this power can make or break athletes, game outputs, the sport culture, and many more. It is necessary to know the end objective and image an athlete would want to achieve to identify what kind of influence they would like to set and build on a network and establish relationships to grow that influence. A study by Joseph Moore defines strategic influence as the degree to which an individual has a voice in terms of developing execution of plans and strategies that enable the athletic department to achieve its goals and objectives. Should this definition be applied to athletes and athlete support personnel and their roles or involvement in developing their performance and their sport, one might expect a more efficient and inclusive system to improve sports and athletic achievement. So what makes this so important? Why do we need strategic influence? Athletes can be influenced just as they can be influencers too. Each one of us can be influenced by the people around us, and we can change their decision on certain things by using our influence. So it goes the same for athletes. Strategically setting this influence helps athletes set themselves apart from others, building a unique identity that is impactful, memorable, and also influential to others. For athletes, this can also establish a concrete and deep connection and relationship with their support personnel, administration, sport colleagues, fans, and audience. Strategic influence will be valuable in developing values and principles responsible for certain behaviors and practices, and improve decision-making at various levels of exposure in sport and life. If athletes and teams want to make things happen, they will need to lead a movement and use their influence appropriately to get to where they want and develop genuine leadership in that area. So how would you use influence strategically? Sean McBride explains this simply but clearly. That influence depends on where you are at the moment, your past history, who you know, and what you are known for. Athletes, for example, have a certain amount of influence and are influenced by certain factors upon entry into sport. The longer they stay active and the longer they compete in sport as they travel up the athlete pathway and know more about their sport and how to improve their performance, their rank, and many more, their level of influence increases. To use this influence, a few questions must be considered. Number 1, what do I want to happen? Is it the time to use the influence or this influence? Who should be influenced? And how should I be influencing others? Should I also be influenced by others? And will I go for a good or a bad influence? Take, for example, opportunities of athletes to be involved in planning and direction of their performance in competitions. Are they really aiming to win at all costs, or are they aiming to just do the best they can? Do they have the right level of experience, skill, and capacity to influence others towards what they want? What are the pros and cons of using this influence or being influenced by others? And who should be involved? The coach, the manager, sponsors, friends, maybe even their fans? If, let's just say, an athlete wants to perform well, right? Some may need, for example, really good equipment, coaching staff, and facilities to get the most out of training. They could influence sport administrators and managers to choose certain equipment brands, certain coaching staff, or choose their facilities which they find best for them. However, they may need to provide a guarantee of high performance. If the athlete is at a level that has consistently shown that this is possible, then they might just influence these administrators to agree with their demands. That is their power or their influence to demand these necessities. On the other hand, other athletes who might not be at that level or may not be able to demonstrate this same influence may not be at the time or the position to do so yet. So let's consider an athlete's circle of influence. This refers to the immediate influences surrounding an athlete which they can also affect or impact depending on their status and situation. So another example of strategic influence here is in promoting clean sport behavior to maintain the integrity and credibility of elite athletes in their sport. An athlete may be the center of their circle of influence in sports, and they can also play a major role in affecting all those in their circle. Their circle of influence involves their coaches, their trainers, teammates and competitors, sport administrators, their family members, medics, sponsors, maybe even lawyers and agents, and even anti-doping personnel. The information they know about doping, awareness about their long-term effects, values, and principles in sport are some of the things that will affect their decision-making, especially when being tempted to dope in sport. To prevent this, an athlete should have that level of influence to stay true to their game or be surrounded by a circle of influence that promotes anti-doping and clean sport behavior. An example of this could be coaches who may prefer whole nutrition or periodized nutrition over supplementation, or teammates who promote fair play and supportive team environment and culture. can also involve managers who help them manage the pressures involved with an elite level or a high level of sport, and many more. Ideally, strategic influence should build and maintain the relationships among the network of influences an athlete would have towards achieving more in sport. Part of this strategy also involves keeping track of the relationships and the details of the interaction taken to help the athlete achieve their current standing. It will be a great advantage for strategic influence to occur at a level of integrity and professionalism of all those involved. A unified goal and a clear identity, coupled with an alignment of values and principles, will help an athlete and their team with strategic influencing for a long period of time. And with that, we end our discussion here. Thank you very much for listening, and God bless.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Steph, for that very informative talk. For our last guest, we have invited Coach Teacher and Daphien Alivio Baisa of Sienna College Quezon City to share the importance of sports in developing life skills. Teacher Ann is a MAPEH area team leader and junior high school MAPEH teacher and a coach of 18 under girls volleyball team at Sienna College Quezon City. Let's all welcome Ma'am Baisa.
We are going to talk about the role of sports in learning life skill, or sport as a tool for learning life skill. But before we proceed, let me ask you some questions. How do you communicate with people? Do you trust your gut when you make decisions, or you just do the right thing? And how do you deal with the demands of life? Communication, making decisions, and coping are just examples of life skill that we do in every day. What is life skill all about? So let's have an overview of what life skill is. According to the World Health Organization, life skill refers to your ability to adopt a positive behavior that enables or that makes individual to deal effectively with the demands and challenges of everyday life. So life skill also refers to the skills that you need to make the most of your life. And according to UNICEF, life skill is about behavior change or behavior development, and the approach designed to address a balance of three areas: the knowledge, the attitude, and skills. And in addition, life skill also refers to any skill that is useful in your life. It could be considered a skill as well, like for example, driving, cooking, even mechanical works. And if you are familiar with this, we call manipulative skills. That manipulative skills is associated with sports that refers to the use of hand and object, like throwing, throwing, catching, or even kicking. Okay? So that's also a manipulative skill that could be considered as a life skill as well. But in a broader concept, life skill is any skill needed to deal well and effectively with the challenges of life. So how do we deal with life? How do we meet the demands in life? Okay, so we have 10 core life skills. Ito yung mga life skills na kadalasan na-encounter or nagagamit natin for our daily lives. So let's see what are these core life skills. Number one is we have this problem-solving skills. So it refers to when you are in a situation that needs action. How do you solve problems? How do you deal with it? Next, we have this decision-making skills. So how do you make decisions? Like I asked earlier, do you trust your gut, or do you just do the right thing in making decisions? And then we have the creative thinking and critical thinking. So this creative thinking and critical thinking, this could be taught in basic education, like for example, the algebra class. So many students are scared or afraid to solve this kind of problems, or parang hindi nila kasi naiintindihan minsan ano daw ba yung essence ng pag-aaral nitong algebra. So hindi ang objective lang naman kasi talaga nun is para mag-practice yung ating critical thinking skills at saka yung ating logical reasoning na pwede makapag-prepare sa atin in the future. Okay, and then number 5, we have this self-awareness skills. So, how well do you know yourself? Do you have a conscious knowledge on your traits, on your behavior, and even your attitude? The next, we have the empathy. It refers to, or it means putting yourself into the shoes or in the situation of others. Ano kaya yung feeling na maging ganito ka? Nilalagay mo yung sarili mo sa sitwasyon ng iba. Okay, so that's what empathy is all about. And then we have this interpersonal relationship and good communication. So, how do you communicate with people? Papaano ka makipag-usap? Papaano ka nakakapag-deliver ng message sa mga taong gusto mong makausap? Are you confident, or are you a good speaker, or are you a good listener as well? Management of stress. So we have different coping mechanisms. We have we relax, or how do we deal with stress, or how do we manage our stress? And then lastly, we have the management of emotion. So if you have a self-awareness, therefore you are able to manage your emotions. Kasi di ba sabi natin, yung self-awareness is you have a conscious knowledge about your attitude, your behavior, and even your skill, right? So there, it's just a little background about life skills. And we proceed now with the role of sports as a powerful instrument to learning life skill. So how can sport influence a person? Okay, so we grew up in different forms of environment, and these factors like the family, our school, the society, and all the people that we get along with can greatly influence our or affect our knowledge, our attitude, and even our skills. For example, I grew up in an environment that loves to play sports. So there is a tendency that I can adapt that attitude. Pwede akong maging sports-minded din. Pwede akong mag-join dun sa mga paborito kong sport kasi na-adapt ko sa environment na yun. Okay? So, how can sport be a powerful instrument in learning life skill? And what sport teaches us? Okay? So, paano siya naging powerful instrument para matuto tayo ng mga life skill? Ano ang role ng sport sa ating mga buhay? Okay, so, athletes started with a dream when they were young. And in that scenario, you are already starting a vision. You are already starting a vision that can lead you to a right direction, which is also a skill. Skill na rin kasi yung pagpa-planning mo. You are seeing yourself in the future. You are having a vision. You're dreaming. Okay? So that's a life skill. So with the athletes, they're seeing themselves in the future. Ano ba yung kanilang mga dream after they finish their playing career as an athlete. And while creating that vision, there are so many things happening in the life of a student athlete, like juggling with priorities, yung mga school works nila, like yung family, sa social life nila, and even making ends meet. No? Especially kung you are away from your family, tapos nakalitira ka sa dorm, and meron ka lang specific budget para pagkasyahin mo sa isang linggo. So making ends meet. And how do you handle those pressure? Anong uunahin mo? Okay? And then, like these life skills are being practiced in times of adversities. And remember that management of stress is one of the core life skills. And your ability to bounce back is being tested. So maraming natuturo ang sports natin. Paano natin maa-apply siya in real life scenario? Right? And then they say that sport does not build character, they reveal it. Again, sports does not build character, but they reveal it. But let's accept the fact that sports, in a way, can build a character too. There are innate behaviors o yung mga natural na mga behavior natin na that can be displayed in playing sport. But however, most players adopt behaviors that they learned in sport. Mga na-apply nila in their real life. And according to the British universities and colleges sport, there are positive attributes that can be developed in sports, such as the following: the teamwork, the leadership, time management, competition and sportsmanship, handling pressures, management and responsibility, and commitment. So it's clearly that sport, it's more than just training your body for a competition, but it also prepares you for life. Okay? So let's add more values and positive attributes that we can get and learn from sports. So let's have the first one, the value of patience, or the characteristic, or the virtue of patience. It's a virtue, patience. So being patient is your willingness to suppress restlessness when confronted by a delay. Dito, when you are an athlete or when you are a player, matetest ang iyong patience. Like for example, yung coach mo, hindi ka sinama sa lineup. Yung starting player, hindi ka dinaano. So, ikaw gustong-gusto mo nang maglaro. And then, yung patience mo ay umiikli. But you need to be patient in playing sport. Okay, so in addition, self-control makes you better and help you to make right decision at the right moment. Okay, remember that, ha? You have to make the right decision at the right moment. Okay, so as you can see here, we have a picture. He is Bo Jackson. He is a professional baseball and NFL athlete. So according to him, sabi niya, baseball and football are very different games. In a way, both of them are easy. Baseball is easy if you've got patience, and football is easy if you understand patience. So he stated, or according to him, na you have to be patient in all aspects, in sport in particularly. Because in order for you to understand the sport itself, you have to be patient. Right? So again, paano natin i-relate ang patience sa real life situation? You have to wait for the right time to take action. So kapag marunong kang maghintay, dadating ang right timing. Right? And then next is the mental toughness. Mental toughness is the key characteristic that an athlete must have. Kasi kapag ang isang athlete ay mentally tough, the rest will follow. You become patient, you have a teamwork, and even leadership. So it's about mental toughness. It's about coping with the demands in sport, whether it is physical or mental stress. Okay? So you are coping with demands in sports. And also, it's about staying determined, staying focused, staying confident, performing under pressure, okay? And then managing physical and emotional pain. So sometimes we see sports or athletes na even though they are in pain, they still continue to play the game or to finish the game. No? So they maintain their composure. Hindi nila pinapahalata na may injury sila, may paano sila, o kaya pagod na sila kasi they have this will, they are mentally tough. So in short, pag sinabi nating mental toughness is paano ka lalaban. Okay? So fight lang. Keep on fighting. Mapa-sportsman yan or mapa-real life. So ito yung tinuturo sa atin ng sport, to be mentally tough. Okay, and then next, we have the teamwork. No? So sabi nila, teamwork makes the dream work, which is true. No? Teamwork makes the dream work. And of course, teamwork can be developed by being part of a team. Kaya nga siya tinawag na teamwork kasi you are working with the team. And also, in teamwork, communication takes place. Kasi pag walang communication, walang teamwork. And you have to know your role in a team. So, kung anong inassign sa'yo ng coach mo, o kaya kahit sa real life situation, sinabi sa'yo ng boss mo, o kaya ng iyong superior, ano ba yung ano ba ang iyong role, ano ba yung duty mo and responsibility mo. And also in teamwork, it teaches us to be responsible and accountable in all our actions. But outside sports, of course, you have to work with others. It is essential. Working with others is essential because it makes you accomplish your task easily. Kasi mas di ba sabi nila, two heads are better than one. Kapag mag-isa ka lang, then that's good if you accomplish your work alone. But with the team around you or with the other people around you, mas maganda ang magiging output niyo or magiging outcome ng inyong trabaho. And the next, we have focus on mind. Sports teaches us to have focus. Yeah, so it refers to being in the zone. And it's all about concentration of skills and even mental imagery or imagining yourself in that scenario. Ano kaya mangyayari kapag halimbawang nag-hit ako ng bola, saan kaya magiging direction nito? And you have to identify your distraction and setting your mind. So if we're going to relate this in real life, you have a vision or you have a clear goal for your future. So nabanggit din natin kanina yung about identifying your distraction. So kung sa in real life, ma-identify mo yung mga distraction mo in achieving your goal, then you will do better. Parang you find ways para mas ma-achieve mo yun. So, ayun yung tinuturo din sa atin ng sports. Paano tayo magpo-focus? Effective communication. So, this effective communication, it plays an important role also in team sports. Like mentioned earlier, kung walang communication, di ba walang teamwork? So, dito tayo sa effective communication. If you can communicate with people, you can deliver your message clearly. So, as you can see, dito sa ating picture, mga volleyball players, they are making hand signals para makapag-communicate sila. Hindi kasi nila pwedeng isigaw yung kanilang defense strategy or offensive strategy kasi baka mag-iba yung play. So, they're making hand signals. That's one of the communication in sport. And in real life, of course, kailangan mong makipag-communicate sa other people para ma-deliver mo ang iyong message ng malinaw. You can deliver your message clearly to approach the person, talk to them, and make ways for communication. Next, we have the paying attention to details. So, oftentimes, nakamiss tayo ng mga details. May mga simpleng bagay. For example, your coach instructed you to take guard or notice or parang aralin mo yung galaw ng kalaban natin kasi it could be an advantage for us, for our team. And because you're not paying attention, hindi nakalimutan mong gawin yung bagay na yun. And naisahan ka nila or mas nagkaroon ng advantage yung opponent because you were not paying attention to the details. So, the question here is, are you paying attention to attention? Yeah. So, in real life, if you do not pay attention to details, something wrong might happen. So, you have to look closely to details. Ano ba yung sinasabi natin dito na in real life na if you do not pay attention to detail, baka may mangyaring hindi maganda. For example, an architect is planning a house, to build a house. And then because he or she missed a detail, pwedeng yung bahay na yun ay masira. No? So again, we have to look closely to details. At isa yun sa mga tinuturo ng sport sa atin. And then next is the determination. Hindi lang to sa sport but also in real life. It refers to your will to win or your will to win in life, will for to achieve your goal. It requires effort, your dedication, and even hard work. So in everything we do, we make effort. So, lahat ng bagay na ginagawa natin may effort because of our determination. Okay, and then we have the better social skills. So, hindi lang din pala mga physical at saka mga emotional aspect ang nai-improve or nag-manifest sa sport. But also, we can have a better social skills. So, in better social skills, if you're a player or an athlete, you meet a lot of people in sports competition. So, you meet other players, meet other coaches, etc. But in real life situation, you have to be sociable to connect. Parang yung sa teamwork lang din yan, na mas maganda yung mas marami kang connection, and then mas mahuhone, or mai-improve pang iyong mga social skills. You became confident as well. Okay? So, there you have it. I hope you learned that sport is a very powerful tool to learn life skills. Thank you and have a good day.
Maraming salamat sa ating mga panauhin at sa lahat ng ating mga masisipag at magigitig ng mga guro ng physical education at tagasanay ng sports sa paaralan sa buong Pilipinas. We would like to end this episode with valued notes from former professional baseball player Babe Ruth that a person who never gives up is hard to beat. Sa ating mga physical educators at tagasanay ng sports sa paaralan sa buong Pilipinas na patuloy sa paghubog ng kaisipan ng bawat bata na ang sport ay may kapasidad upang lumikha o mag-develop ng champions sa sport at sa pang-araw-araw na buhay. For teaching the children that a person who never gives up is hard to beat. Tunay na napakadakila ng inyong tungkulin. Time is up for this week's Rise Up, Shape Up episode. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on our Facebook account. Thank you everyone for your support. Rise Up, Shape Up is brought to you by the Philippine Sports Commission, Women in Sports. Again, this is your host, Jenna, and have a marvelous day, everyone. Rise up and shape up.